Greetings, YouTubians, and welcome back to Wayne's Sharp World, where today we'll be taking a look at the Damned Designs Oni. Now, before I go any farther with this knife review, I'd like to share with you guys a real quick little look into my YouTube analytics. As you can see right here, over the last 28 days, I've gained 103 subscribers. So, to those 103 people and all of my 171 subscribers, thank you very much. It's greatly appreciated, and I only hope that it grows from there. Now, I also like to show you guys this. This is the watch time in minutes from people that are not subscribed to me. So 83.3% of the watch time on this channel are from viewers that are not subscribed to me. So to those viewers, I just simply ask you guys, please, if you like what you see, please subscribe. If you like knives at all, just hit the subscribe button, follow along. I promise you at some point I'm going to be covering a lot of knives, and you will see a lot that catch your eye and hopefully really appreciate and enjoy the reviews. So please hit the subscribe button. I'm done with that. Let's get talking about this knife. Some real quick specs. Overall length at 4.9 inches. Close length at 3 inches, blade length 1.9 inches, safely under 2 inches too. It is, for all you people in California, it is not very debatable. It is easily under 2 inches of blade length. Cutting edge is at 2.1 inches. You gain a little extra cutting edge with the Tonto tip. We have a flat grind on, like I said before, a really gnarly little Tonto blade. Very gnarly. Got a lot to say about that blade. Blade finish of satin, and a weight of 2.5 ounces. So, yeah, it's a smaller knife, and, 2.5 ounces to me is not heavy. I could care less about the weight. For me, this is a 5th pocket knife. I'm going to put it in my small pocket above my main right pocket in that little credit card size thing, and it's going to fit in there just perfectly, and in my opinion, it's the absolute perfect spot to put it. So that's what it's going to be for me, so I'm completely looking at this as a 5th pocket knife. Prices for this guy. You have, well, originally there was 3 options. It's down to 2. Damned Designs came out with tiers of this, which I really appreciate. It's nice to have those options. So you have an option coming in at $40 that consisted of G10 and D2. And then you have this option here, which is carbon fiber and S35VN. I really like that. I'll say a little more about that here in a second. And then finally, the last version that sold out, rightfully so, I really wish I could have got myself one, the titanium version with S35VN. I don't mind carbon fiber, guys. I like it, of course, but I really like titanium, and I feel like this knife, especially in titanium, would be that much better. So anyway, the titanium version sold out. There are some versions of this exact model right here still left at $80. And like I said, for $40, G10 and D2, that's pretty hard to say no to, and they have a decent amount of those left in stock from what I saw on their website. So if you like this, go check it out. Let's go on with the review. Some size comps. As you can see, we'll pair it with a couple more popular ones. The Benchmade Bug Out and the Civivi Elementum. Not going to do a whole lot of size comps today. I think this is enough. Give you an idea that it is, without a doubt, a very small knife. Small, but it's a chubber. It's nice. It's a beefy, bulky little whatever you want to call it. It's obviously a knife, but it looks like so many things. For some reason, I see a frog. I see all types of weird things. They had to have had a lot of fun naming this knife, and I think Oni is a good one too. It fits the name. Anyway, so before I continue with this review, I do have to say, I always try not to take any of my knives apart before I review them for you guys, because I want that out of the box, experience to let you know exactly how you're going to get it. But I did have a problem with this one. This guy was really gunky. And when I say gunky, I don't necessarily mean it was all dirt, but there was a lot of Loctite in this. When I took it apart and started cleaning stuff out, there was a little Loctite that dripped into the bearings. This knife does have bearings, which is very nice, but the The Loctite dripped into the bearings. There was just Loctite all over the place on this. And surprisingly, it still opened pretty well. I didn't have a lot of qualms with the way it opened out of the box. It was absolutely operational. By no means was it not working. It was fine. But after I took it apart and cleaned it, it was a lot better. It was probably the dirtiest knife I've ever disassembled, to be honest. But again, I'm not going to totally knock it for that. Personally, I always take my knives apart and clean them and lube them at some point anyway. Not always right away, but I'm totally comfortable doing it. I enjoy doing it. So I'm not gonna, I'm not mad about that. I was surprised. I was definitely pretty surprised because I was just, there was a lot for such a small knife. It was pretty nasty in there. But just something for you to keep in mind. Again, not the end of the world though, but I did have to do that to give her what I thought would be a fair review of this knife. So there's that. Now, let's get on to the blade. The blade on this guy is probably the reason, there was two reasons I bought it. One, because it was a front flipper. I love front flippers. And two, the Tanto blade on this is just sick. I mean, the design of this knife altogether is absolutely on point. I have no design issues whatsoever as far as the ergos and all that. But as I used it, I realized that this Tanto blade, while it looks amazing, one of the coolest Tantos I've seen, especially on a small knife. You just don't see them a lot. But I think I know why. My personal opinion is I was using this knife, I realized that having the tip all the way back here and not more here or up here, it wasn't as functional as it could have been. It made it a little harder to use a small knife like that. Because what I'm using this knife for is opening boxes, cutting open a bag of chips, breaking down boxes, all sorts of things like that. It's not going to be a real heavy user. So I think this knife, personally, what would make this knife amazing is instead of it being a Tanto blade, I think this knife would be absolutely perfect with either a reverse Tanto with a very, very mild belly or a Wharncliffe, just a straight Wharncliffe blade. I understand that would take a pretty significant redesign, and I do love the way it looks now, but I think for functionality and daily useful purposes for this knife, I think a Wharncliffe or reverse Tanto would be a much better option. So now with that said, this is still a really nice blade. I love the fact that it's S35VN. I feel a lot of times a company will make a knife this small and think, we don't know how much people will like it, how well it will sell, so we're not going to put a lot of money into the steel. We're going to use D2, or we're going to use 8CR, we're going to use AUS8. You don't see a lot with S35VN, and I really like that because I love S35VN, and I like small knives. They're not my first choice, but I do carry them. I still plan on carrying this guy just because I love the way it looks. And it's still sharp. It's going to cut through anything. Has a real nice edge on it. It's going to do the job of, for what the knife is meant to do. It's going to cut through bags. It's going to break down packages. It's, you're not going to go do anything too crazy with this little guy, but it's also just a real fun little carry. And I always like having a nice steel on it, so I really appreciate that. So that's pretty much all I got to say about the blade. I also really like the cutout here, though. I got to say that, because not everyone is the best with front flippers. I'm really good, and I love flipping them. But for those that aren't, and still just like the way the knife looks, you can still just open it as a regular, more old-style knife. And that's always nice. There's always going to be people that appreciate that. Now on to the handle and ergos. I was very, very, very surprised at how well I like the ergos on this knife. Because first of all, this is a 3-finger knife, guys. It might even be 2.5. You be the judge. To me, I get my ring finger around enough to consider it a 3-finger. So I'm going to call it a 3-finger knife. And I really like this jimping up here, obviously mainly for the front flipper, but also really nice to just put your thumb there and that ramp at the end where the swedge starts. It's just a really nice place to plant your thumb. So in the off chance that you ever do have to do a, more heavy-duty cut, you got a pretty good purchase on this guy, and you're going to be able to push through with power and work it out pretty well. I'm going to go back to my point on the blade, though. That tip coming back, if that was a Wharncliffe or the tip the tip came up to, you know, right here instead of all the way back here, you just have that extra little bit of tip to work with as you're making a cut like that. Another reason why I think a Wharncliffe or a reverse Tonto would be a better option here. But no, the Ergos are great. The Ergos are great. This pocket clip, first of all, the pocket clip is not a hotspot whatsoever. It is zero hotspot, and it is a perfect pocket clip for this knife. I really, really, really like this pocket clip. It's, I mean, whether or not you want to consider it deep carry, it's going to carry really, really low. I mean, you're only going to see that sticking out, which for me, I guess I could consider that deep carry. Not super deep carry, but deep enough, especially in a fifth pocket. That's a really nice depth for a pocket clip on a short knife. Sometimes short knives, they feel like the pocket clip has to be down by like where the screw is, and it's stupid. But they put it nice and low on here. It's going to carry very well. So huge props for this clip. And it's also, it looks like it's milled titanium. I don't know for sure, but it's a very quality pocket clip. Goes in and out of the pocket very easily. Good enough ramp to go over most hems, all hems. It goes in all my pants. I've worn 2 pairs of pants since I've had it. One was jeans and one was basketball shorts, and it fit great on both of those. So I think anything in between would probably be okay. So very nice pocket clip. There was a little problem here with the carbon fiber. There was a significant amount of flaws up here on the surface of this carbon fiber. Less than ideal, obviously. This was $80, and I have, you know, I have and have had a decent amount of other knives in carbon fiber that were in the, you know, $75 to $100 range that had no flaws. So that's something that can definitely, hopefully will be addressed. So that could be a lot better. I don't really mind the red along the outsides here. There's red mixed in with the carbon fiber. I could really do with or without that. I don't have a problem with it. It's not necessarily my favorite thing, but I'm totally fine with it. No real quarrels. My biggest problem, though, is the flaws, as you can probably see, and you feel them, too. They don't just look like it. You actually feel little dips up here in the carbon fiber, so that it's too bad that couldn't have been smoothed out and made to look a little better. The action on this guy, once I cleaned it out, the action was pretty good. It's a small blade, so to have a small blade deploy well as a front flipper, it takes a very precise, or, you know, pretty close, a very accurate amount of jimping. Not so much the number of gaps, but the aggressiveness in each gap. Because they made this, it stuck out really well, and to do that, they really had to mill it just right so it would bite your thumb. And you really got to use some torque on your thumb because, again, you're using the small blade. It's a small base. Everything on it's small. So it takes a little more. You cannot do the reach around. This is not happening. Not happening at all. But even like right now, as I'm talking, my hands have been building up a little bit of slipperiness on them, but I can deploy this, well, as I muffed it like a moron. It flips out just fine. Flips out just fine. Nice, snappy. You can hear it. You can hear it freaking just snap all day. So that's nice. It gets attention, and it's actually, it's almost louder than I would want it to be, but I still like it. This is just a fun knife. This is a fun little carry to just show your friends and be like, hey, you know, check this out. It's just sweet. It's almost like flipping a lighter backwards. You know how you hold a lighter and you're kind of just like, you know, light it just like, I don't smoke, but obviously I know how a lighter works. You just flip it like that and the flame comes out. It's kind of like doing that just backwards because it feels very similar to a lighter in your hand, and it just pops right out. So that's good. It's just a fun little piece to operate. It is making the noise it makes, and I have to address this too because it is bothering me. Let me start to close it and see if you guys can hear this. So listen real close. I don't think you can hear it. There's something that sounds, when you open like this, you hear you hear the snap, but there's also something in here, I wouldn't call it grinding, but it sounds like zipping a zipper really fast. And I don't know what that is. I don't know if that has to do with some CNC milling. I don't know if that's the detent ball that is rubbing on the blade. if you can hear that. You probably can't hear it as well over the camera, but it's making a little weird sound. I don't know if that's a flaw or if that's just how it is. It's not a very pleasing sound. It sounds like there's something in the bearings, but I know there's not because I clean those bearings. The bearings are spotless, so it's not in the bearings, but it feels like it's something around the bearings. There was also a little washer that was in there that one of the bearings sat on. It may be from that. It may be that little washer rubbing against the collar. I don't know, but it's not a very... It sounds and feels like I have gunk somewhere in the pivot or on the detent ball, and it's kind of annoying. I don't really like that. So I don't know if that's maybe a quality issue. I don't know. But at the end of the day, it's still not the end of the world to me. I still really like this knife. It's not perfect. I actually really, really, really hope Damned Designs does come up with a little improved version of this. Don't change the Ergos, guys. If you do, don't change the Ergos. Don't change the pocket clip. Just obviously, I would like to see one in titanium, but I think the blade in Wharncliffe or reverse Tonto would be really well. I really love this Tonto the way it is. I just think the reverse Tonto or Wharncliffe would be a lot more of a functional blade, more purposeful blade for a knife this size. But all in all, it's a very attractive looking piece. Like I said before, it's the reason I bought it. It is the reason I bought it. I'll just admit it, and I don't care what anyone thinks about that because I still like it. I just think there's some stuff to improve on it. I hope this is taken to heart, and I really hope they come out with another model of it, because if they do, Damned Designs, if you do, let me know. I would be more than happy to be one of the first to pick one up because I just really like it. I think it's a nice little piece. And really hope to see another model of this come out sometime in the near future. So, what do you guys think? Do you like the small front flippers? It's fun. It's fun to play with all day. I've actually been flipping this more than I have any other knife, and it's stayed in my pocket because it's so small, whether it's basketball, shorts, or jeans. So, I'm a fan. I like it. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. That's it. Have a great day, guys. Take care. Bye.